Good afternoon, everyone. It's 3:15, and this session for the sponsor talks. Here we have Autodesk. My name is Henrik. I'm the host for Symetri during this session. If you're not familiar with the platform, on your right-hand side, it's possible to ask some questions in the Q&A section, in the chat section. Just write your questions, and I'll make sure that Rob actually gets a possibility to answer the questions in the end of this presentation. We have approximately 30 minutes all in all together, because we have to go back to the main stage 3:45. So by that, I would say that Rob from Autodesk will take over the stage from here and talk a little bit about sustainability and how it actually, impact the construction industry. Again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to put it in the chat, and if you don't, I have some in the end. But we'll make sure that everybody gets heard here. So, all right, Rob, I'll leave it to you.
Thank you, Henrik. Am I coming through loud and clear?
Yes, you are, sir. And we see you.
Very good.
Looking good.
See me as well.
Looking good, Rob.
I put a shirt on today, so feeling good. Feeling good. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much for having me. Welcome everybody to this session. I'm here to talk about sustainability from the perspective of the construction industry. My name is Rob Matheson. I oversee the EMEA East sales team here at Autodesk Construction Solutions. My country's covered, as you can see, Nordics, Benelux, Middle East, and emerging, quite a large territory. I'm based just outside of London, so nice to be here with you today. So for anyone out there unfamiliar with the Autodesk Construction Cloud or Autodesk Construction Solutions, our mission is quite simple. It is to bring together project teams from concept and design stages all the way to handover and operations on a single unified platform. And just as a brief timeline of how we've actually got to where we are today, in November 2019 at Autodesk University, we launched the Autodesk Construction Cloud. A year later, in November 20, we announced our upcoming release of our unified platform. And just last month, we officially launched the first two unified platform offerings, namely Autodesk Build and Autodesk BIM Collaborate. And then just last month, we launched the third unified solution, Autodesk Takeoff, which supports 2 and 3D takeoffs in the cloud. And the platform really has a unique focus on sustainable building, for example, by reducing excess reworks, enabling all teams access to real-time valuable data in a fully collaborative environment, plus a number of other benefits as well. So today we've been discussing the research conducted by Frost Sullivan in partnership with Autodesk, exploring sustainability and the role of digital technology. And construction was obviously one of the key focus areas. As you can see, the quantitative data consisted of 198 construction companies in the Nordics, Benelux, UK and Ireland regions. And that was supplemented with 9 qualitative interviews with heads of sustainability in construction firms to get an in-depth view of their initiatives. And you can see the names of those companies interviewed here on the right. So we asked the respondents really to indicate how important sustainability is to their business. And the construction results can be seen on the right-hand side of the page here. And as you can all see, construction companies all have at least some focus on sustainability. But for 35%, it's actually an important part of their considerations. And 9% claim it's actually a cornerstone of their corporate strategy. And this, I think, really does validate the importance of sustainability within the construction sector. But I think the numbers here really do also show that there are some serious improvements left still to be made. So just in March this year, the Construction Leadership Council in the UK published a 9-point plan to reduce carbon emissions across the construction sector, from manufacturing and design to the construction and operation of assets. And in this 9-point construction zero plan, as it was called, the focuses were, for example, for transport, moving to zero emissions vehicles on site, maximising the use of modern construction methods to reduce waste, championing infrastructure investments that provide low carbon forms of transport, Then there were actions around buildings as well, including things like retrofitting existing housing to improve energy efficiency, scaling up our ability to deliver low carbon heat solutions, and creating higher energy efficiency standards for existing buildings as well. And then finally, under construction activities, the points included things such as implementing carbon measurement itself, becoming world leaders in designing out carbon and designing in line with the circular economy, and also advancing low carbon manufacturing processes. And all of these actions are intended to help the industry in the UK achieve net zero by 2050. And this shows the increasing focus on sustainability in construction. Quite a notable and I suppose noble initiative, I suppose, here in the UK. So moving on, what is driving companies to become more sustainable? Well, in a word, and as always, it's all about the customer. Construction professionals point to customer retention at 87%, customer expectations at 84%, and competitive advantage at 75% as the main influences. And that was a message that certainly came through very loud and clear as well from our company interviews. If we take Stomhuis, I think I pronounced that correctly, a Dutch construction company, particularly focused on retail developments, their head of innovation mentioned that its customers' expectations and competitive advantage alongside cost reduction that they really see as the driving force towards the adoption of things like the materials passport. So, how much are construction companies actually investing in sustainability initiatives? This is where the rubber meets the road, and where the proof is in the pudding, if you like. Well, interesting, on average, construction companies surveyed are planning to invest around 900,000 euros over the next 5 years in becoming more sustainable. Interestingly, that's a fair bit lower than the businesses surveyed in the manufacturing and architectural engineering space, which range between 1.2 and 1.4 million. So the most common areas of investment for construction are improved workflows, 87%, regulatory compliance, and technology and software. And of course, these initiatives deliver other advantages as well. And companies are already seeing a number of benefits from their sustainability initiatives, namely and prominently around productivity and efficiency gains. Also, these initiatives are, far from nice to haves. If you look at the quote here by Nordic company Assemblin, who we work with, they're saying, both employees and customers, notably employees, which is interesting, are really starting to make sustainability goals a necessity. So it's really becoming, very commonplace in part of, everyday business. So, where does technology fit into sustainable construction and really support the companies involved to prioritize it? Well, many companies are already using technology to make it easier to collaborate with their supply chain and partner on these initiatives. For example, measuring and communicating sustainability KPIs for constructors on site. At the same time, using data to make better decisions plays a key role in driving sustainability. Simplifying the capture, consumption, reporting and decision making for sustainable approaches, 51%. Also gaining new data and insight capabilities at 44% are additionally, really important priorities for the use of technology in construction. And BIM is actually one of the most widely used technologies for improving sustainability by reducing errors and waste and capturing information about physical structures. And that's something you can see at the Wills Brothers, a civil engineering contractor here in the UK and Ireland, who are using technology to support data collection and collaboration. But it's also worth acknowledging, I think, that companies still face challenges on the path to sustainability, including a lack of financial resources, 40% of those surveyed, access to skills and training at 35%, and also a lack of customer buy-in at 33%. And overcoming these hurdles are absolutely critical if we're going to be moving this forward significantly. So it's clear that construction at large is an extremely carbon intensive process that encompasses the entire supply chain, from the extraction of natural resources to its transportation and manufacturing. And clearly reducing carbon emissions plays a key role in becoming more sustainable. So with this in mind, we asked respondents, what actions they believe would have the biggest impact on the industry. And the responses from construction representatives suggest three main areas: lean construction, circular construction, and prefab are the techniques really with the most potential. So let's look at these in a bit more detail briefly. The majority of respondents see the role of lean construction at 43% increasing for the future. And lean construction is really all about minimizing waste, increasing quality, which importantly not only supports sustainability, but also improves performance. And clearly for all companies, access to data is key in this approach. And this is where something like a common data environment or CDE, that will enable teams to access real-time data, streamlining design and construction, enabling projects to be more efficient, really comes into its own. And actually, as you can see from the UK headquartered design firm Bryden Wood, lean construction also delivers better value for clients. So it is a win-win. Also, lean construction provides opportunities to create new offerings as well, which is a very interesting way to approach this as well, such as sustainability as a service at 47%, net zero energy buildings at 55%, and smart infrastructure at 59%, as you can see. Circular construction is also seen as a significant opportunity at 43% for construction businesses across Europe. The concept of circular construction is essentially leveraging reused or recycled building materials in the construction process. But for circular construction to work, you need to have consistent and accurate data, and BIM will surely play a significant role in ensuring that eventual asset owners are aware of the processes for both maintaining assets and recycling or deconstructing them in the future. In the Netherlands, look at leading construction company BAM, who again we work with very closely. They're actually developing materials passports that I mentioned earlier, which record the types and quantities of materials in a building to support circularity in the future. And I think this is going to be really, really important in reaching many organisations' goals, and particularly in this case, the Dutch government's aim to become fully circular by 2050. Finally, companies actually view prefab as the approach with the greatest potential to reduce emissions. That probably comes as no surprise. The principles of prefabrication and design for manufacturing and assembly, or DFMA, are already providing really, really promising results. And actually, prefab is a real key area of focus from a technology and services perspective for here at Autodesk as well. One example is the Forge, if I give that as an example, an office building of Landsec, which has already been designed by Bryden Wood. The Forge was endorsed by the UK Green Building Council as the first UK net zero carbon office building. And a key part of the project was the on-site prototyping and the use of DFMA processes. Prefab also comes with a number of other benefits, of course, such as projects typically being safer and faster to complete in a more controlled environment. And this approach, I think, can really help us balance the need for infrastructure development with sustainability goals. But it will and does need buy-in from the entire AEC project ecosystem in order to be something that will grow significantly more in the future. Just to close, I think it's important to acknowledge COVID-19 on sustainability and acknowledge the fact that it really has underlined the need for resilience in our built environment. But importantly, I think, and as many people have mentioned, it's really shown that things can change very quickly when they need to, as demonstrated last year in the UK as an example with the Nightingale hospitals, which were established to protect our NHS from being overwhelmed. And by using off-site manufacturing and real-time collaboration technology, the hundreds, I think it was thousands in the end, of specialty teams were able to come together and build a facility in Birmingham, UK in just 9 days, which is quite astounding. And here at Autodesk Construction Solutions, we're really proud to have been part and played a role in enabling those teams to record and manage tens of thousands of tasks of snags, defects, photographs, etc., to enable that build to be completed on time, but to obviously the highest quality as well. So, throughout the pandemic, these kind of projects have underlined how technology can deliver better results, which I think, have very important and positive implications for sustainability moving forward. So, just to wrap up, sustainability initiatives, aren't just about going greener, but also come with other key outcomes like better quality, less waste, and more adaptable assets. But to realize these advantages, we really need aligned thinking and action across construction and all of the teams that interact with construction from design through to delivery. I think technology can and already is playing a fantastic and central role in making these plans a reality, whether it's supporting data-driven decisions and collaboration or empowering new approaches like prefab and circular design for the future, as we've mentioned. So guys, that's all I have to say for today. Thank you so much for your time, and I'll pass back if we have time for any questions.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rob. Very interesting findings, I would say. I just take a look at the Q&A and chat to see if there are any questions to you. Go on, guys. Don't be shy. No questions so far. Anyway, I got a few for you, Rob. So
okay.
I was just curious, and I have to make sure that I understood it right. You said that with these findings, the research kind of suggested or said that the construction companies are planning to invest less than manufacturing and architect and engineering companies in becoming more sustainable over the next 5 years. If I got that right, does this mean that the industry is not taking a serious approach on this, or how should we, understand this?
Oh, look, it's an excellent point, and I think the sustainability investment numbers represented, of course, in the survey were averages, the averages of respondents, of course, but so it's interesting. So there will be companies that are investing a heck of a lot more, but on average, overall, there is clearly a lot of work to be done to bring those numbers up and to bring these initiatives to the forefront of how the whole industry is looking to invest and build. So yeah, a lot of work to be done. I think the pandemic and the evolving needs of customers and employees, as we mentioned, will really drive the focus and investment in this more and more as we go forward. I think it's never been in the public eye and in the mind and heart, perhaps now as much as it has been before. I think now is the time to really kick on. But yeah, to your point, the numbers were weak and need to improve.
Room for improvement, it's called.
That's the one.
Yeah, and potential as well. Okay.
Yeah.
In the end, you also said something about, or I would like to rephrase it to, in a long-term perspective of the COVID-19, what do you think in the long-term impact of the COVID-19 will be the industry, from a sustainable perspective?
Well, I think, as you say, that, COVID-19 has really underlined the need for resilience across the built environment, full stop. But importantly, it's also, it's shown that things can change really quickly when they need to. And I think the pandemic has provided an opportunity for companies to really accelerate their efforts to become more sustainable, and oftentimes and in great part to be assisted by the use of technology. And I think, the majority of these changes, that we've seen come in, especially over the last 15 months or so, I don't think they will be rolled back. And I see technology playing a larger and more central role than ever in helping these firms drive towards their sustainability goals. I think we've got a great opportunity now to really leverage the power of data and collaboration between teams in the complex world of construction projects. I think that companies in our sector, Autodesk included, have come a huge way. There's huge money being put into this area to really help and drive the growth and maturity of the construction sector at large, which is a laggard comparatively globally when it comes to the use of new techniques around and using technology and data-driven insights to make decisions. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think that it's I think the impact is that we have adapted. Technology's played a leading role, and I don't think that's going anywhere. I think that's only going to increase as we go forward.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds great. Okay. Thank you very much, Rob, for interesting findings and a very good presentation. We have a short break here until 4:45, where we will go. Everybody goes to the main stage. So from here we have a short break, have a coffee, and a biological break maybe. So thanks again, Rob, and see you at the main stage. Thanks.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Bye-bye.